Om Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Sri Dakshinamurti Sudeshikendram Dvaipayanam Sutrakritam Munindram Sri Shankaram Bhashyakritam Yatindram Maddeshi Kanchapi Namami Vityai Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsarishibhyo Mahatbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sarvopaplavarahita Prajnana Ganaha Pratyagarto Brahmaivahamasmi Om Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gita Mrtaduhe Namaha. Pranams everyone. We are in Chapter 2, Sloka 55. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha Sthitha Prajna Lakshana. So Bhagavan is answering Arjuna's question on Sthitha Prajna Lakshana. In Sloka 54, Arjuna asked this question to Bhagavan on Sthitha Prajnasya ka bhasha. What is the Lakshana of a Sthitha Prajna? Kim prabhasheta? How does he speak? Or in other words, how does he face his prarabdha karma? Then Kim asita? How does he sit? In other words, how does he behave when he is alone? How is he when he is alone? Then Kim vrajeta? How does he walk? In other words, how does he deal with other people? So these are the questions that Arjuna had asked Bhagavan, and Bhagavan gave the first two Lakshanas in this Sloka 55. Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Manogatan. So when a person renounces or sacrifices all the desires that are in his mind, and then we went into, did a vichara and said, when we said all desires, these are what we call as binding desires. When a person is able to convert all his binding desires to non-binding desires, or remove all the binding desires, or then Sthitha Prajna Taduchyate, then he can be called as a Sthitha Prajna. And then the second Lakshana was Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha. A person who is contented within himself. And we saw why an Ajnani is not able to be contented. An Ajnani can never be contented because an Ajnani identifies himself or herself or the self to be the body and mind. As long as we identify the self or I to be the body and mind, we will never be contented, because the body will always have some issues. The mind will always have some problems. There will be always some discontentment. And therefore, there will be always a sense of incompleteness. There is always a sense of craving. Even intellect cannot be fulfilled. Nobody can say, I have got everything that I need to know. There will always be something that we don't know, and there will always be some intellectual craving. So this craving cannot be removed from the body or mind or the intellect. And as long as I identify I to be this body or mind or intellect, I will never be able to feel contented. So Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha can only happen when we are able to identify with the self, with the ourself to be the Atma. So when a person becomes contented by himself, then he is said to be Sthitha Prajna, a man of firm knowledge. And for us, the problem is sometimes we are not happy, not just with us, we are not happy with the behavior of others also. Some character of other people around us, they could be our spouse, they could be the in-laws, they could be children, relatives, neighbors, colleagues, friends, boss, whoever, we are not happy with their behavior also. And we are not happy with ourselves also. We get angry, we are sometimes jealous. Although the jealousy in our mind, we will not be able to see it, we will not accept it. And even if we accept it or even if we realize it, we will not want to admit it to others. So our mind is also discontented. There is always this atripti in our mind. The reason why it actually reflects as anger or the reason why it reflects as jealousy or asuya is all because there is a discontentment. We are not able to be with our mind. And our mind has got a lot of problems. And that's why we are not able to actually live alone also. If we are able to, if we stay alone without anybody around us, which includes the gadgets, if we have to sit alone with nothing in our side, to talk to or listen to, we'll have to, then the things that are in the mind will start coming up. And we will know that we will not want to be alone. We need someone or something to divert ourselves. We are not able to tolerate ourselves. That's the real thing. And that's why if we are not able to tolerate ourselves, but we want others to tolerate us, our company. So this is the issue, that our mind has got a lot of problems. That's why I have atripti within myself. I have an atripti on things around me. I have an atripti on people around me. I have an atripti on the situation that I am getting involved or getting into. Here Bhagavan says, when you don't have all these things, when you are contented by yourself, when you have tripti in your mind, when your contentment is unconditional, I don't need to be happy only when this person behaves in a certain manner. That is a conditional happiness. When I am able to be contented or when I feel contentment, even or whatever may be the case, when my contentment is unconditional, then I have attained jnana nishta, sthitha prajna. When a person is contented within himself. When we hear this, we will realize that, it looks like I am very far away from moksha. And that is the truth. We are far away from moksha. We have to realize Atma. Realize that I am that Atma. Actually, I am that Atma. I am Atma. I am that Brahman. So the distance between me and Atma is actually zero. But if I have to, it is either zero or it is actually infinite. Because as long as I don't realize I am Atma, the distance is infinite. But what is really, where is Atma? The distance between me and Atma is zero. To realize Atma, that I am this Atma, it has to be attained through an effort. It cannot just happen by listening. Shravana is important, yes, but it cannot happen just by listening. We have to do this sadhanas, and that's why we say a Sthitha Prajna's Lakshana becomes a sadhaka's sadhana. So Bhagavan says, being contented with oneself. My contentment is not dependent on anything. When I am able to get to that mental state, I am Sthitha Prajna. See, when somebody curses us, when somebody talks bad of us, when somebody gossips about us, it is their freedom. How I make of those words is my freedom. But what we say? We say that their words are the cause of my sorrow. My sorrow, I am unhappy because they speak these words. The truth is, it is my mind that is the cause of my sorrow. Because it is my mind that has made these words impact me. And therefore the mind is the cause. And what is inside this mind that is the cause of sorrow? The ignorance that I have in my mind is the cause of sorrow. The ignorant mind is the real cause of sorrow. So what should we understand here? There is nothing in this world that can make me sorrow. What causes my sorrow? Only my mind is the cause of my sorrow. My mind, which interprets the various situations around me, is giving me the sorrow. And only a person who changes that mind. So if I have to get contentment, I cannot change the other people. I cannot change the situation around me. I cannot change their behavior. I cannot change their words. What I need to do, I need to change my mind. As long as we think that the world is giving me happiness, then the world is also giving me sorrow. And as long as I think that the world is giving me happiness, we will try to change the world. We will try to change the situation. We will try to change other people. We will try to influence. Because we think that they are the ones who are giving me happiness and sorrow. But the truth is, my mind is giving me the contentment, my tripti. My mind is the one which is giving me sorrow. Various experiences come. The mind which interprets them has the problem. Somebody, for example, let's put this way. On the road, somebody whom we don't know at all hurls abuses at us. He doesn't know, we don't know that person. That person suddenly abuses us. We probably get a little disturbed and then we move on. We don't worry, we don't bother. But suppose if there is this somebody else whom we know or whom we are friends with, whom we are neighbors or with, that person starts abusing us, then we feel disturbed. So the words are not the cause of the problem. It is my mind which interprets these two situations are the cause of the problem. So the mind which is ignorant about who the self is the cause of problem. If I am able to give that knowledge to that ignorant mind, that the I is not the body or the mind, and give practice to the mind to take it, then and through that knowledge of jnana, that I am the Brahman, I am that Atma, and attain jnana nishta, then I will be contented within myself. Atmanyeva atmana tushtaha. I'll reach that stage where Atmanyeva atmana tushtaha. I am contented within self. So this is the answer that Bhagavan gives, or this is the Lakshana that Bhagavan gives here. And what does this answer, which question of Arjuna it answers? Arjuna had asked, Kim asita? How does he sit? In other words, how does he be within himself, with himself? What is his manasa vyaparam? The answer for that is, Jnani will be contented within himself. And remember, only when a person is contented, is happy with oneself, they can give contentment and happiness to others. If a person is already atripti, he can only give atripti to others. That's why when we see these jnanis, when we move with them, we feel happy. Because they radiate happiness. A jnani is able to give contentment. A jnani is able to give happiness to people around him. And when there are nobody around him also, he is happy within himself. He does not need people for his happiness. He does not need any external objects, possessions. He does not need any people. He does not need a relationship. He does not need a particular situation to make him contented. Atmani eva atmana tushtah Sthitha Prajna taduchyate. So whenever we get this feeling that I will be happy only if I get that, or I will be happy only if I attain that, at that point of time, this sentence should come in our mind. It should keep ringing in our mind to say, like a mantra, like a shruti behind us. Atmani eva atmana tushtah. I don't need anyone or anything to make me happy. This is our sadhana. As I said, a jnani's lakshana becomes a sadhaka's sadhana. So we should try to imbibe this as a sadhana. I should keep remembering, I don't need anything or anyone to make me happy. Or even for that matter, to even feel sad about. Now when you take these two lakshanas, what are those two lakshanas? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan. And then Atmani eva atmana tushtah. So in the first line he said, all desires would have left the mind. So from the outside, it might look a jnani is acting with the desire. But those desires are non-binding desires. That's the first lakshana. Then the second lakshana is, one who is contented within oneself is a Sthitha Prajna. So these are the two lakshanas. Again, I would like to reiterate, this is a scale to measure, but it is a scale to measure on us, ourselves. It is not to use it on all or use it on others. To check, okay, this person is actually, he calls himself a Swamiji, he calls himself a sannyasi. Is he a real sannyasi, Sthitha Prajna? Is he Atmani eva atmana tushta? Does he feel contented within oneself? Has he given up all the desires? It is not for us to do that. We will have to use this scale to measure only one person, and that is ourselves. Bhagavan has given this scale to measure ourselves. Moreover, we cannot apply this scale on others. We don't know what is in their mind. We have difficulty in reading our mind. How can we even read others' minds? How can we say that they have desires in their mind, or whether their desires are binding or non-binding? We cannot know whether the person is contented within himself or not. And this is the lakshana of a jnani. Bhagavan did not say a jnani will have to wear saffron robes. He should be a sannyasi. He should have a rudraksha mala. Nothing like that. Bhagavan did not talk about any of those things. So this lakshana has to be applied to self. We should not be using it for measuring or evaluating others. The idea is to see how far are we from this. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan. How many binding desires do I still have? Have I reduced them? And see and make an effort to close that gap. I've been able to reduce one by one the binding desires in my mind. So this lakshana, this portion of Sthitha Prajna Lakshana, then we had also seen the 13th chapter, we had seen those values of an ajnani. Then the 16th chapter we also saw Daiva Asura Sampat. So far we had seen these things. All these are only to measure ourselves, not to measure others. Please remember, we will be seeing more lakshana of a jnani. A little more lakshana in the 3rd chapter, and then in the 12th chapter, again in the 14th chapter, we will be seeing more lakshanas of jnanis. All these are measuring oneself and not for judging others. So these two, giving away or reducing or renouncing desires, and being contented within oneself, you will have to measure, see how much we have to close the gap and take appropriate action. And again, jnana or a person who has attained this jnana or a jnani, we have this wrong idea that a jnani will be a sannyasi only, or that this sannyasi will have an ashram, or this person will not wear any gold ornaments. There is no such compulsions or there is no such requirements. Whether that person wears it, whether that person does not wear it, whether he should have a beard or not, whether he should eat less or more, what type of food he eats, all these are not any indication of jnana. The only indication of jnana is their own mind. And which means only that person knows whether he is a jnani or not. It is even if for other person, even for another jnani, it may be difficult. It may be. So the Lakshana is not a physical attribute. We have to remember. So we cannot say, oh, this person, why is he not a jnani? First of all, don't even measure, don't even look at it. And this person, just because he is not a sannyasi, he cannot be a jnani. Or because he is a sannyasi, he is a jnani. Nothing of that sort. Neither this nor that. Bhagavan is going to give more lakshanas. We will see them. So in the next sloka, we will see sloka 56. Dukkeshu nudvigna manaha sukeshu vigataspruhaha vitaraga bhaya krodha sthitadir muniruchyate. Dukkeshu nudvigna manaha sukeshu vigataspruhaha vitaraga bhaya krodha Sthithadir muniruchyate. So here Bhagavan, again, here in the last sloka, Bhagavan said, how does a jnani behave within himself? Now he is answering, how does a jnani deal with his prarabdha? Remember, Arjuna had asked, Sthitha Prajna ka bhasha? Basically, that question is being answered here. He also asked, Kim prabhasheta, Kim asita, Kim vrajeta. We have already seen Kim asita. So here Bhagavan is saying, how, or Bhagavan is explaining the attitude by which a jnani will face his prarabdha. Or in other words, how will he lead his life? That will be the first part of the sloka. Now, to understand that, first we must have a knowledge about prarabdha. What is prarabdha? Prarabdha is the karma phala by which we have got this physical body. The karma phala by which the lifespan of the physical body is ensured. That is called as prarabdha karma. Or in other words, prarabdha karma is the one which decides what body we are getting, how long we are going to live in this body, or how long is the sukshma karana sharira will stay within this body. Shastras speak about various karmas. As a jiva, the actions that we perform, every action that we perform, we are accumulating karma. And we have, in our past lives, across many births, millions of births that we had taken, we have accumulated lots of karma. That the bundle of karma that we have accumulated over past births is called as sanchita karma. It's a huge bundle of karma. It can never exhaust. Because even as we are exhausting, we are accumulating more. Because as I am exhausting in this life, when I am exhausting, I am actually accumulating new karma through the actions that I am performing now, and those karma are called as agami karma. While leading this life, I am performing certain actions. Through that action, I am actually again accumulating some karma that is called as agami karma. So there is sanchita karma which is already there as a bank balance, agami karma which I am actually earning right now. When this jiva gets born into or when the jiva takes a new physical body, which we call it as birth, the karma by which this physical body is determined is called as prarabdha karma, or rather the prarabdha karma is the one which determines the physical body, like what is the type of body, whether it is a human body, animal body, insect body, plant body, what sort of body, what is the color of the body, what is the nature of the body, whether it is actually deformed, whether it is fully fit, whether it has got brown, black, white, grey, what color, whether it's got a sharp nose, long nose, bad nose, whatever, everything, the quality of the body is all determined by prarabdha karma. And the age of the physical body is also upfront decided. How long this physical body will be available for this jiva. This is called as prarabdha karma. So the prarabdha karma is basically a portion of the sanchita karma that is being used for this life. And if the prarabdha karma is such that there is a kind of balance between papa and punya, it's a kind of balance, it's not the exact balance, then we will get a human body. When the plucked out prarabdha karma is such that there is more punya in it than papa, high amount of punya, then that jiva will get a deva sharira. They will be in the deva lokas. When there is more papa, less punya in that prarabdha sharira, in the prarabdha karma, then that jiva gets an animal body or other such bodies. So already we have accumulated lot of papa and punya. From there, whatever is being plucked or taken in this, for this particular jiva, for this particular birth, if there is balance between papa and punya, we get this loka, we get this bhu loka, and we get human birth. This is what Shastras say. So what do we derive out of this? We have got human body. And therefore we should understand that papa and punya are both there in the prarabdha karmas. It's more or less equal in this birth. And what else we need to understand? We understand that punya prarabdha will give us favourable situations, favourable conditions. Papa prarabdha will give us unfavourable situations, uncomfortable situations. So therefore, prarabdha can be divided into two. The favourable is what we always like, right? So that's called as ichcha prarabdha. And unfavourable conditions, we don't like it. So anichcha prarabdha. So prarabdha can be divided into ichcha prarabdha and anichcha prarabdha. Ichcha prarabdha is whatever situation we desire, in whatever we are comfortable with. If that situation comes, we call it as ichcha prarabdha. And anichcha prarabdha is one that is unfavourable. Now, what we have to understand is This is the nature. This is the law of Ichcha Prarabdha and Aniccha Prarabdha. So which means, because our Prarabdha is such that there is both Punya Prarabdha and Papa Prarabdha, it is going to give us both favourable as well as unfavourable situations. There is no escape for nobody. Anybody who is born in this world as a human, they are going to have both favourable and unfavourable situations. There is not a single person who would say, I do not have an unfavourable situation at all. I am so happy, so comfortable, so everything is going according to my wish. Or there will not be anybody who will say, nothing is going according to my wish. There will be no escape for anyone with regards to this law. And that is the nature of this world also. The world is this Jagat is basically Dvandvatmaka Jagat. It's a pair of opposites. That's why even when Bhagavan takes a human form here, there will be some favourable situations or unfavourable situations, at least from our eyes. Sometimes they spend in palace, sometimes they spend in forest, whether it is Rama or Krishna. So once a human form is taken, it will definitely find favourable situation, Sukham. However poor that person may be, he will find some Sukham. And however rich a person could be, he would also need to face difficult situations. There cannot be any change. Now the question comes, if Shastras say that one will face both favourable and unfavourable situations, which means easy and difficult situations, anyway we are going to face it, then why should we study Shastras? Why should we even seek and take effort in getting moksha? Anyway, whether I am rich or poor, as long as I am in this human body, I am going to face both situations. So what is the effort? Why do I need to study? Because anyway, whatever is going to come, I cannot change. It's prarabdha. Shastra, so where is the benefit? What is the benefit of studying Shastras? Prarabdha gives favourable and unfavourable situations, difficult and easy, no doubt in that. There is no change in that. But how we face them, how we face that situation is not in the hands of Prarabdha. It is in our hands. And that is where the free will comes into play. So how I face depends on my free will, and that is where Shastra study helps me. An example, when Rama was told that he will be crowned tomorrow as the prince and he will be coronated, and the day he was about to be coronated, he was asked to go to the forest. So one day the news was such a great news, ecstatic news. The next day it's a so depressing news. Now how he took both the news, how he handled the situation, that's his free will. And Valmiki Ramayana says, on the day he was announced that he would be coronated, he slept peacefully. So we have this, when we are excited, we cannot sleep. When the mind is active, when the mind is excited, we cannot sleep. Sulabha Suddha Bodhanam Durlabha Vishayatmanam. The mind, if it's active, if it's excited, it cannot sleep. Similarly, when the mind is depressed, when the mind is sorrowful, also we cannot sleep. But according to Valmiki Ramayana, on both nights, Rama slept peacefully. Prarabdha is for Rama also, in that case. And he had to kill Ravana, he had to take a human form, he had to go to forest. But how he took those situations, was in his hands. Now, Rama was able to sleep. Would we, in that situation, will we be able to sleep? No way. Suppose we are told that you are going to get something, you are going to go abroad, or you are going to get a new job, or you are going to get married, or you are going to meet somebody, or you are going to buy a house, or you are going to move into a certain place, or you are going to receive some ancestral property. That excitement will not make us sleep. And the next day when we are said that you will not get it, sorry, but that job is gone, you are no more there, or that promotion is not given to you, or you don't get that trip that you are asking for, or you don't get the jewelry that you want, whatever, even a small disappointment can give us sleepless nights. Imagine then what should have been the mindset if kingdom was to be given to a person. The entire kingdom. He is going to be the king of Ayodhya. And then, once announced, then to be taken it away. And not only taken it away, the other way, you will have to now leave everything. Okay, let me not be the king, at least let me be in this palace, or let me be in this country, within this kingdom. No, you have to leave everything and go to the forest. Imagine that. But in spite of that, Rama slept well, it seems. So Prarabdha gives us situations. How we face the situation, it is not in the hands of Prarabdha. It is with us. And that is called as free will. If how we face the situations is also in the hands of Prarabdha, then yes, we need not study scriptures at all, because there is no use. Prarabdha is going to define us what we are getting and how we are reacting also, and therefore there is no point in studying scriptures. But Shastra says, no, Prarabdha will only define the situations. How you face them is in your hands. And that's why we need to study scriptures. Now, in this sloka, Bhagavan is talking about how a jnani will face these two types of prarabdha. And another thing that we have to understand here is, there is no point in asking Bhagavan not to give us any difficult situations. Bhagavan, please do not give me this situation. Please do not make sure that I don't get unhappy. I do not get unhappy. Please ensure that I do not get unhappy. Please ensure that this person does not come into my life. Please ensure that I am not with my in-laws. Please ensure that this is not my boss. There's no point in asking those things, because it will come. If it does not come through this person, it will come through another person. Because we have taken a human birth, and we have some papas in the mixture. So we will get difficult situations. And there's no point in blaming prarabdha also. Some people say, all my prarabdha. Shastra says the resistance to that I should not get difficult situations in life, that resistance is called as samsara. Saying that I don't want difficulty, that is samsara. It does not mean that I should go and look for some difficult situations. No, we need not. We need not look for difficult situations, but we should accept just what it comes. Suppose on a particular day I'm going somewhere, I want to meet somebody, the person does not come on time. Getting angry is in my hands. Or I go outside, it is suddenly raining, I get wet. Prarabdha, take it. Those are difficult situations that I'm going to face, accept it. Or if I am actually there, it's so hot, I couldn't get water, I came back home late, tired, starving, sweating. Okay, difficult situation, accept it. We should just accept what comes by. Need not go and search for it. Everybody, each one of us will get those difficult situations. Reason is human birth. Human birth means mixture of papa and punya. Punya is going to give us favorable situations. Papa is going to give us unfavorable situations. How is a jnani face? How will the jnani face? In short, the answer is he will face it with equanimity. Difficult situations will not give him sorrow. Pleasant situations is not going to give him tripti also, contentment also. Reason being, he will see both of them equally in a calm manner. He understands difficult situations will come, comfortable situations will come, favorable situations will come. But how could he be able to be? How could he be equanimous? How could he deal with equanimity? It is because of the jnana that he has got. A jnani also has prarabdha. Just because he has read Shastras, he has become a jnani, it does not mean that a jnani will not have headache. It does not mean that a jnani will not have hunger. It does not mean that a jnani will not have a heart attack. A jnani is, the body has all these things. If somebody asked Swami Dayananda Saraswati, will a jnani have a headache? As long as he has a head, he will have a headache. The physical body will face those issues. And forget the physical body. A jnani also emotionally, what we go through, a jnani will also go through. As in, it is not that he will not be criticized by others. It is not that he will not be insulted by others. But a jnani's mind is emotionally strong. He's got a shock absorber in the form of jnanam. It does not affect him. Whereas for us, we get easily disturbed by others' words. We get disturbed by son's behavior, daughter's behavior, wife's behavior, husband's behavior, colleagues' behavior, neighbor's behavior, relatives' behavior, in-laws' behavior, boss behavior, subordinates' behavior. We are easily disturbed. Their behavior is in their hands. How we behave, how we take it is in our hands. How does a jnani take it? Bhagavan explains here. Dukkeshu anudvigna manaha. Dukkeshu. Dukkeshu means situations that can be the reason for sorrow. Basically unfavorable situations. Trouble. Whenever there is a trouble. And how will his mind be? Anudvigna manaha. Anudvigna manaha. A mind, manaha, anudvigna. Unperturbed. Unperturbed, not disturbed. It's a calm mind, basically. So he will face the trouble in a calm manner. Sukeshu vigata spriha. Sukeshu. Situations that can be the reason for joy. Pleasurable situation, favorable situation, pleasures we can say. How will this mind be? Vigata spriha. Vigataha means spriha. Not over-related, or in this word spriha means craving. In other words, he is free from craving amidst pleasures. Why does Bhagavan say spriha? We can say he is not over-related, but spriha, craving comes here. What happens whenever we get into a nice situation, whenever we get into a situation we like, we want that environment to stay forever. Whenever we find a person with whom we have established some compatibility, we want this person to be always available, compatible at all times. Same with a particular object. It gives me pleasure, it gives me happiness. We want it to constantly give us happiness. Same thing with regards to situation. We don't want the situation to change. We have been used to a certain place in a certain city in the world, certain house, certain people around us. We want them to be always like that. We don't like change. So the craving is there whenever we get into a good situation, a favorable situation. A jnani is free from that craving. A jnani will not expect that situation to keep continuing. He will be balanced. He will not be longing for the conditions to continue. One Sampradaya Guru says, whenever some sukham comes, or whenever we think, whenever a desire comes, we kind of fulfill, we say, it's done, it's over. Or a pleasant situation comes, we think we have, the desire on that situation gets over. It doesn't happen that way. Whenever we get money, for example, is it sukham or dukkham? Whenever we get money, it's sukham. Who will say when we get money that it is sorrowful? Nobody says. It is sukham. But the desire on that sukham, does it get fulfilled? Does it get over or does it get fulfilled once we get that money? No. If we get money, our desire on that sukham does not go away. In fact, it increases more. I've got money, so I'm happy, so now I don't have any more craving for getting more money. That doesn't happen. Maybe if a person does not have money at all, then that person may not have those desires at all. So whenever programs, when he's an extremely poor person, you ask him what he wants, he probably wants the next meal. That's all. He will not need more than that. But for a person who has got money already, he already knows what the money is capable of doing. So once he gets money, will he be satisfied, or will he say that the desire or the craving for money is gone now that I've got money? No. He gets addicted. We get addicted, we want to have more. Bhagavan says, a jnani will not desire that the favorable situation must continue. It means he sees prarabdha in a equanimous manner. Remember, a jnani also cannot escape from prarabdha. It's not that because you become jnani, now there is no more prarabdha. The jnani also will have to go through that prarabdha. So which means whatever body that is given, whatever situation is given, is all pre-given through the prarabdha. That's why we see some jnanis who are rich, some jnanis who are poor, some jnanis are famous, some jnanis are not famous. Janaka was a jnani and also a king. So which means everybody knows Janaka. We even talk about Janaka even now after so many millennia. So he is rich and famous. But then there have been so many jnanis who had probably left this world without being known. So each one's prarabdha is different. And our mind will think, oh, this jnani is lucky because he is rich and famous. The other jnani is unlucky. If we think that way, we are fools. Because a jnani does not think this to be a criteria. Janaka did not find happiness in his kingdom, in his rich palace, in his riches that he had got. He found happiness in his jnana. Atmanieva atmana tushtaha. The other things, whether they are there or not there, whether he is famous, not famous, whether he's got money, he doesn't have money, it does not affect him at all. It does not matter. So that is the takeaway for us in this sloka. So in the first line, what does Bhagavan says? The first line we had seen, Dukkeshu anudvigna manaha sukeshu vigata. Here how a Sthitha Prajna deals with this prarabdha is given. Every person will have ups and downs. A jnani will also face ups and downs, but his mind will not have any upheavals. There is no, he will not be perturbed, nor will he be craving. Now in the second line, Vitaraga Bhayakrodha. Vitaraga Bhayakrodha. Bhagavan says, a Sthitha Prajna does not have these three types of emotions. What are those three types of emotions? Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. Vita means free from. So he is free from Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. Raga means what? Attachment. He is free from attachment, Bhaya, fear, Krodha, anger. So he is free from attachment, fear and anger. He does not have these three. What is samsara? One definition is these three. Raga, Bhaya, Krodha is samsara. As long as we have this, we are in samsara. Raga can also be considered as desire, kama, attachment, we can say. And again, Bhagavan already said in the last sloka, Prajahati yata kaman sarvan partha manogatan. The desire he is already removed. And Raga, Bhaya, Krodha, we have to understand is desire is the one which manifests itself as fear or anger. We get fear or anger on the same object that we have this desire on. How do we get fear? If we have the fear that we will lose this object, the object that I desire, the object that I am attached with, then we get fear. I fear that I will lose my position in the society. I fear that I will lose this job. I fear that I am not. So wherever there is an attachment, if there is a feeling that I will lose it, I get fear. Even if we take these emotions separately, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha, a jnani does not have any attachment. A jnani is asangaha. Asangaha means one without any attachment. A jnani does not have any sangaha, attachment. If there is one, it is only satsanga. Or he is in solitude. He will not attach himself with any people, person, or objects or situation. When we say attach, it is at the emotional level. It does not mean that jnani will not transact with people. He will still be dealing with people. And spiritual growth for us is not about saying I am on the spiritual path. We will have to deal with people. We cannot say I don't want to deal with you because I am spiritual. I am in a spiritual path. If we are really spiritual, we need not actually, real spiritual shouldn't be shared. How much I have grown, how much I have changed in my mind, need not be shared with people. Real progress is only necessary for us to evaluate ourselves. We need not share it with others. However close, the progress in our mind should not be shared with people. It should only be known to ourselves. So raga here means attachment. That does not mean, when we say attachment, he should not have attachment. That does not mean he should not show love. We should show love towards others, but we should not have attachment on anything. Now bhayam. As I said, whenever we are dependent on something, we get fear. If we are independent, if we don't have attachment, we will not get fear. When we do a vichara on situations that we get fear of or afraid of, we will know that we are actually dependent on something. We just need to think, why do we get fear? We fear from the loss of that object or that position or that emotional state of mind. And that is true for our body also. When we have a fear that, I fear that I will get a disease, I fear that I will get something, cancer, paralysis, or I fear that I will have loss of memory, all those things. because we have attachment on the body. A jnani does not have any raga because he is asanga. A jnani does not have any bhaya because he is swatantra, independent. He does not have any attachment. Krodha, we have already seen. Why do you have anger or hatred? Because of expectation. We get angry on the same person on whom we have expectation. Suppose if my mind does not have any expectation on that person or anyone for that matter, then I will not get angry. Just imagine that. I don't have any expectation from you. Then I will not get angry. I will definitely not get angry. We will not even have dvesha on that person. I don't have any expectation. I will not get any dvesha. On the other hand, if I have an expectation, I have a attachment, then that person is giving me fear. That person is giving me krodha. That person is giving me everything, or that all kinds of emotions. And a jnani does not have these emotions. A jnani is udasina, indifferent. It's not in the negative sense. In Tamil we say pattum padama. Just like a water on lotus leaf. He will not be affected. Who is that person? Bhagavan says, Sthitadhir muniruchyate. Sthitadhihi uchyate. Munihi. He is said to be a sage, Munihi, of Sthitadhihi, a firm knowledge. So this is the indication of a jnani. This is of an indication of how much jnana we have got. How disturbed we are in unfavorable situations. Has that gone less? Do I feel less? Is my mind having less perturbed than before? I am progressing spiritually. Am I expecting less and less from people? Have I taken some people off my expectations list? I am progressing. Am I getting less and less fearful of things, of people, of situations? I am progressing spiritually. Am I getting less angry? I am progressing spiritually because my attachment is getting reduced. And here, contemplative person, a jnani, is one who is free from attachment, fear and anger. He is a man of firm knowledge. Not only knowledge as in I understand that I am this Atma. He's been able to apply that intellectual knowledge into emotional strength. He's been able to apply this on a day-to-day activities. He's converted that knowledge into emotional strength. That is the jnani. So Bhagavan is going to continue the same topic in the next sloka. We will see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.